everyone, this is Sylvia with the Salsa with Sylvia Trick of the Week, and today with me again is Carla, our studio director.
Hey
so
everyone.
Today we are going to talk to you guys about something very important, and it's more concerning the leads, but I wouldn't say it's not unimportant for the follows as well.
Of course.
So today's topic is how to become a good lead.
Yo te ando buscando como un loco por el mundo y sin ti ya no aguanto un segundo. Alguien venga, dígamelo ya, si la han visto por aquí o la han visto por allá. Porque la busco, yo la busco y no la encuentro. Ya yo quiero que llegue ese momento.
All right, so what does it take to become a good lead, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think really the connection that is being made between yourself and the follow. I think there's a nice balance that needs to be addressed or made with your partner. Being a little too soft, being a little too forceful. What is the right balance? Are you thinking too much about what's coming next? Because we can read that as a follow when you're hesitating or when you're not really just enjoying the moment, feeling the music, having fun while dancing. It's very obvious.
So let's talk about that. From a follow's perspective, what do we like as follows? What do we like to have? So for me as a follow, I don't like it when the lead is too forceful. So that's a no-no, because nobody would like that. But at the same time, the opposite of that is being too soft as a lead. So where people expect you to kind of read their mind and know what's coming, that's also not a good idea. So there's a difference between being a gentle lead and being a really soft lead where you're not giving clear lead. So to me, the perfect medium is being a very clean lead and knowing exactly what you are going to lead. Right. And the follow picks that up and follows. If the lead hesitates, I know it and I don't know what to do at that point.
Right.
So, but how do they get to the point where they are clean leads? What does it take?
Ooh, I think it definitely takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of going out, just dancing with different people, not being afraid, leaving your afraid of being rejected or being judged behind. But I think a lot of what I've experienced, or not a lot, actually I should say more, is some people actually talking about it and saying, hey, we danced just now, how was my lead? And then us follows definitely giving honesty in that, like, oh, you were a little bit too forceful, or I think you could have used a little bit more energy, more power, and then I would have been able to read you better and follow along a little better. So having more conversation.
Right, so practice obviously is the key here, and we were talking about this when I was learning how to lead. I had to go out to clubs and ask ladies how to dance, and a lot of times they felt awkward about it just because I'm a female asking another female to dance, but that is what it takes. So you have to get over that intimidation, get over that fear, and just go for it and ask the next lady to dance with and just practice. So the more you practice, the more confident you're going to become in your lead, and also you will start noticing that you're not thinking so much about what is the next move that I'm gonna lead. Right. You will get to the point where you will start playing with the music, you will start knowing the music to the point where you know where the breaks in the music come, and that's when you can give her a dip. Mm-hmm. And women follows, they love that play with the music when the lead knows the music so well that you hit the breaks and you do something right there and then on the song that really makes it feel like you hit that moment right there. So you will notice that the more you do it. And also when we say practice, you have to build that solid foundation before you start becoming a better lead. Because if you're not certain in your footwork, if you're still wondering which foot follows, you're gonna have a really hard time coordinating your arms and your feet.
Right.
Learning how to lead was one of the hardest things for me as a dancer, because it's a lot of coordination going on. So you have to get to the point where you've drilled the technique and the basics so much that you don't think about your feet. You don't think about, oh, am I on one? Am I on the right count?
Right.
Right? So all you have to think is the connection, like you said.
Correct. Yep.
Feeling that connection, and also knowing where your follow is supposed to be.
Right. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that when you were learning how to lead, you had to put yourself in that space. This is something that I'm working on myself right now, is putting myself on those shoes. So distinguishing and separating, okay, now I'm leading, now I'm following. And it helps to be able to just put yourself in that perspective of the other person. So if you're a lead, if you start to think as a follow and maybe just practice some movement in the timing of a follow, how can that help you as a lead? How will that support your approach on when you're leading someone?
Exactly. So actually knowing the follows, position where they're supposed to be at a certain on a certain count, that really helps you to know when to give that signal. And just the very simple example of that is the very simple right turn. So if you're leading the lady into a right turn, knowing that she can only turn on the count of 5, 6, 7 gives you the idea that you have to prep her on 1, 2, 3, so that on 5, 6, 7 you lead her into a basic right turn. So things like that, knowing that her body in the position as it is right now cannot turn in a certain direction, that would help you not force her into a turn that's simply impossible from even like physics standpoint, right?
Right.
So there's a lot that goes into it, but it starts with being confident in your foundation.
Yes.
Drilling the footwork, drilling, and honestly, the leads have to put in way more work into that. And that's something that our students have been approaching us about, that our classes have been having more leads as opposed to follows. And that's because as a follower, it is easier for you to progress and go into the next levels. But as a lead, you have to put in the work. And the work doesn't consist of just coming to classes. It definitely consists of you going out. So if you're sitting here wondering, why are there so few follows in the class? Well, you have to step it up so that those follows are looking forward to come to these classes and dance with you and you and you and all of the leads in that class. Because us ladies, we get bored easily, right? So if you don't entertain us and if you don't lead us well, we'll just move up to the next level or another class. The sad truth is that basically you got to step it up and you got to practice and not be intimidated to come out of your shell.
That's exactly right.
So as far as the follows go, though, like I said, we get bored easily, but that doesn't actually make us such good follows that we are ready to go to the next level. Because a lot of times we think, oh, we got this. We can follow, we can go to intermediate, but that is not true.
Right.
So much of that connection depends on the follow as well. So if you have learned your steps, follows, and you think, oh, I can go up to the next level, that most of the time is not entirely accurate, because the follows also need that technique and need that solid foundation for them to be a good follow.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think it's very easy for us follows to get comfortable, just moving through the motions. You mastered what it means to just follow. You mastered what it means to just keep on, catching the cues and moving with your partner, that you keep moving up and up and up, and all of a sudden you find yourself out of it, or you find yourself too into it that now you're not paying attention to styling or your presence or really listening to the music. Because if you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing, it also makes it hard for the lead to be able to lead you or to have a good time. I see a lot of just dancers that are a little bit too stuck in the technicality aspect of salsa dancing, and so that kind of becomes a little bit boring. You want to, yes, know how to follow, make sure that you're giving the right energy, that you're connecting with your partner, but it's not all about making sure that it's perfect. You want to be able to enjoy yourself. You want to be able to always try to be a better dancer. So don't just go through the motions. Really look at what you're giving on the dance floor, and that really just allows both the lead and the follow to have the best experience on the dance floor.
And there's a very fine line between knowing the steps and feeling the music and really look like you're feeling the music.
Yep.
That's what creates that unique connection between partners. If both partners are feeling the music and follows, just because you learn the steps and you maybe do them better than your fellow classmates or leads, that doesn't mean that you look that way, that you look like a passionate dancer. That takes a lot of practice. So that's I think that's very important. And leads, I would definitely say that it wouldn't hurt if you add more than just coming to group classes. Like we said, going out, practice social dancing, take private lessons. It doesn't hurt to add that to your practice routine. Take some private lessons, get that one-on-one instruction. We have amazing instructors here at the Salsa with Sylvia studio. They can lead and follow, so it doesn't matter who you take the private lessons with.
I agree. And don't be afraid to ask questions in class. That's one more tip for today. The instructors are here to help. The instructors, that is their job, to make sure that when you walk out of this classroom, you made improvement, that you learned something new. And sometimes I think it becomes very easy to say, okay, I'll practice at home. No, this is the time. You're here, you're in the studio, so take that time, make your money worth. You're investing in yourself, so do the most that you can to get the most out of it.
Speaking of investing in yourself, we do now have this new program called Accelerate program. So if you feel like you're at that level where you need to go to the next step, this program has 90-minute classes, which is longer classes. It's a 6-week program, and it gives you that extra something that we don't usually have time for in the classes. These classes will be smaller, so you get more attention, and so you work on exactly that, the connection, the feel for the music, for the rhythm, developing that extra something that will make you the lead that the ladies will want to dance with, and the opposite. Because follows, let me just say, if your arms are heavy, if I'm the lead, I'm not going to want to dance with you. So all of these things, if you don't, if you're just doing the dry run of like running through the motions, through the steps, you don't include that feeling, that passion. I mean, most likely you will have a better success if it's the opposite. If you are a passionate dancer, and if you look like your styling, you're really you're
enjoying yourself,
body
really
movement and all that.
Yes, because remember, dance is just another form of communication, and you need to be able to have that conversation with your partner. And to have that conversation, you have to learn, your language, learn your nouns, learn your pronouns. And so that's just another way to look at it, that you are in the classroom just learning a different language that then you have to apply with someone else. And so just have fun
really
with it, right?
Good,
you're going to be bilingual now. So
I mean, you know what? It's like anywhere you travel in the world, and I've experienced that.
Yes,
it's like, you don't need to speak Chinese, you don't need to speak German. I mean, everywhere where I've been, I just go, the first thing I do is look for a salsa club, and I go there, and I don't have to speak the language, we just dance.
Yeah, we just dance.
All right, guys, so that has been it for this tip of the week. If you have any questions, if you want us to discuss something, please put it in the comments.
Definitely do. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want to learn a little bit more about. We can definitely keep putting out more tips of the week. We do tricks of the week, tips of the week. We just want to hear from you. Let us know what you want, and we will make sure to give it to you.
And come to classes. Check out our schedule at www.salsawithsylvia.com, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys.